Guess who's back? Back again. I am back. Tell a friend. Hi friends, what's good? Hi. It's been a while. Been a while, and I took a little bit of a quick sabbatical, not on purpose, not planned, it just happened. So I am here today to bring you guys a new video. Who knows who's still following me, because I have lost so many subscribers just by taking a week off. It's ridiculous. Anyway, you guys are here. Maybe to say hi, maybe see how I'm doing. I don't know. I'm here today to finally share with you guys my ranking of my foundations. I had promised you guys that I would follow up on a lot of my hauls, things that I purchased, and unfortunately technology failed me yet again. So this is why we're a little bit late, but better late than never, right? So if you're interested to hear what I gotta say, and maybe you're considering some of these foundations, stay tuned. Okay, real quick, for those that do not know what happened, I went to go film last week, not the literally last week, but the week prior on that Friday. Turned on my ring light of 10 years and it was officially dead. And as you guys know, through many videos, it kept flickering, it kept having its tantrums, and I knew she was coming to the end. I knew it. I just didn't expect it to be literally the day that I could film. And it sucks because all last week all three of my kids were in camp at our church, and I had so much time on my hands, but I could not film because I didn't have a ring light. I ordered the ring light after suggestions from some of you guys, but it took about 6-7 days to get to me. So this is why I'm here. I don't know. I'm getting used to it. I had to do a whole new setup back here. I don't know if I like the brightness, not the brightness, make it brighter. This is all new to me, you guys, because literally mine was 10 years old. 10 years old, so technology. So that's why I ended up taking just a week off. I figured if I didn't have my ring light, let me just completely detox from social media, and it felt good. It really did feel good. And Mr. Man took a few days off too, so him and I got to spend time together while the kids were in camp. So we're here. I have a lot of videos that I have to film for you guys, so stay tuned for the rest of this time. I gotta hustle, and as you guys can see, it's so hot out. I have no eyeshadow on. I don't even have foundation on. I'm doing a foundation ranking video with no foundation on my face. I just could not. It's way too hot. I just have lip concealer a little bit and mascara. My brows done. That is it, you guys. That's it. I don't have much on my face. Oh, and blush. Cream blush. That is it. I couldn't do it. So this is my face without foundations. Here we are ranking foundations and I don't have it on. Sorry, you guys. It's just how it's gonna be. So anyway, let's get to it. Okay, you guys, so I have 11 foundations, and I will tell you that 2 spots have 2 of them, and I'll explain you guys why. So I did my best. I do overall, when I explain this, I do overall about 95% of anything that I purchased, I did love. All of these were purchased with my own money. Nobody sent these to me, whether they were a gift or a gift card, somehow, way or form. None of these brands sent these to me, so none of these are sponsored, whatever you want to call it. These were all picked out through me or by me in some way, shape, or form. And they're all from this year. So none of these are older. Nope, none of these are older. So these are all from this year. So they're fresh, they're new. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna start out with number 9. Like I mentioned, I do have 11, but 2 spots hold 2. So number 9 actually goes to this foundation right here. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Max Cover. This was specifically purchased for an individual that needed this kind of application. This foundation is not my favorite. This is one that I would genuinely say I will not repurchase or bring back into my collection once I have finished it off. It's very thick. If you've ever tried the Kevyn Aucoin concealer in that pot, it is almost identical as far as the coverage, as far as how much you need, as far as how much it works. I need a pea size to completely cover my face with this, but the way that I like to use it, because I don't like that full coverage-ness sometimes, and sometimes it's a squeezy tube, so you can go overboard. What I do is I mix this either with a moisturizer or with another tinted moisturizer that is thin and runny, and I mix them together in order to get more of a glowier, softer look on my skin. Now, I will tell you this, because it is Estee Lauder, if I were to choose something this thick, I would go with this one because they formulated it well enough where it's still beautiful on the skin, but it's not necessary. So you guys can see I have no foundation on my face today. I don't need this kind of coverage. I specifically bought it for a reason. I will do my best to use up as much as I can possibly of it. It's just something I gotta mix with other things in order for it to work better for the way that I like it. If you're needing something full coverage, I mean like covering tattoos, covering scars, covering bruises, covering birthmarks, that kind of stuff, this is something you might enjoy. And I don't get upset about it because I did buy this half off, but this is one that I will not repurchase and the least one of my favorites. And the one that I least reach for, to be honest with you. Number 8 goes to this one. This is the Bobbi Brown Skin Long Wear Weightless Foundation. Now, this one is a beautiful foundation. And all of these I've worn many times. You guys will see some usage out of them. This one is nice. It's just not my favorite. There's something about it that is just not my favorite. Something that I most likely will not repurchase. It is a beautiful foundation. It is weightless, like it says. It is weightless. It looks beautiful on the skin. It has an herbally scent to this. It does come with a pump, which is nice on here, but I feel like it settles into my fine lines, and I have 2 very large fine lines right here that are getting deeper by the day, So I noticed that's how I notice what foundations really work well with me or not, and this one settles into them pretty deep, and I don't like that very much. But this is weightless. It's a nice foundation. If I ended up getting it gifted, I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not going to seek out and buy it. It's something that I can see the coverage on it. It is like a medium foundation, like a medium coverage foundation. It's not as full coverage as this, but it is medium. It's nice, but not my favorite. Let's just put it that way. It's nice, not my favorite. I don't hate it. I personally would not buy this again. Number 7 goes to this one. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. This one is nicely covered. It comes in a squeezy tube. You get a lot of product in here. I like it again, but I don't love it. I think it looks beautiful on the skin, but I feel like it's a little bit finicky for me to work with. I personally like to wear all of my foundations or anything on my face with a sponge, and this one doesn't work well with a sponge. It doesn't work well with a brush. For me, it only works well with my fingers, and that's a little bit of a problem for me because I tend to shear out all of my complexion products when it comes to liquid foundation just because I don't like to have full coverage, and this one doesn't allow me to do that. I can spread it out and then blend it out with a sponge, but it's an extra step for me that I necessarily don't need to take. Once I put it on, it is beautiful, but again, this one does settle into my fine lines, and because it is a soft matte, it's a lot more matte. I only like this in the summertime. I don't necessarily like this in the wintertime or when it's really cold out. So that's why this one doesn't really work the best for me. Like, I'm trying to find foundations that I can use the formula all year round. It doesn't really give me too much of a trouble. And for this one, there's other NARS ones that I like better than this. I do like it, don't love it, would not get this one again, to be honest with you. If you're looking for something that is a mattifying foundation, but you don't want it to look so thick and looks beautiful on the skin, I would say I would go with this one. I love all of the NARS foundations I do own. I think NARS has a really, really good formula when it comes to their foundations. So I don't hate it. It's just there's other NARS ones that I've purchased that I like more. So that's why this one I wouldn't repurchase either, and it's at the bottom of the list. Number 6 goes to this one. This is the Makeup Forever HD Foundation. This one's beautiful, and so far this is where I'm starting to like them more. Now we're getting to the point where it's very difficult because I can see myself repurchasing all the rest that I'm going to share with you guys now. The last 3, no, I don't plan on buying those again, but these other ones, I'm a little bit nervous because these are all beautiful. This one comes in a glass bottle. It's considered medium to full coverage with a pump, but it looks really, really nice on the skin. This is something that I can use as an everyday foundation and don't feel like it's too much, too cakey. I still have that glow if I want to have that glow, but it doesn't make me look super oily. It is beautiful. It looks like skin on your face. I sets down, I can feel my face and it doesn't feel tacky. It's just an overall great quality foundation. I know some don't like it, and there are other ones. This is why there are other foundations that I do like a little bit more than this one on my list, hence the reason why it's on the bottom of my favorite ones, but it's still something that I would consider and purchase in the future. I would repurchase this one. I really do like it. It's not super mattifying, but it's not super glowy. It's a natural finish, and I love natural finish foundations. Those are my favorite to have because it works all year round for me. It's not super matte, it's not super glowy. It just works well for me. So this one, I really do like it. I really do. Number 5 goes to this one. This is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. This is something that I did not think I would like as much as I do. This one I've used quite a bit. You can see the line right there of how much I've used this one. This one's glowy, but it doesn't make me look super oily. It is beautiful on the skin. I just love it. It just goes on nicely. It works well with my sponge. I can put a nice powder on top, and it looks like a natural finish on me. In the summertime, I do have to be very careful. Like I personally can't wear this one in July and August because the heat is ridiculous and the humidity is ridiculous. But all the rest of the year, I feel like I can get away with wearing this one. And again, I have mentioned that I do want to have foundations I can wear all year round, but this one I can get away with it for the majority of the year. It's not something where it's only designated for 2 to 3 months. I can use this all year round for the most part. It's beautiful. Love that it comes with a pump. I've worn it. It's a really, really pretty one. This one I really do like. When I want to look alive and not dead or flat, this is just a foundation I like to reach for. So I would purchase this one again. Number 4 goes to this one. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Now, I will tell you, the NARS reflecting one, light reflecting, and the luminous silk were like neck and neck. They were both neck and neck. If I could just do with one or the other, I would. And I'm going to be blunt and honest with you guys. So if I find a better deal with the NARS, I'm going to stick with the NARS. If I find a better deal with the Armani, I will go with the Armani. I feel like these are super, super similar when it comes to the way that they are on my skin. This one's just a tad less coverage than the NARS one. It's a tad less coverage. There is another one that I feel like is almost identical to this one. So I don't know, it's very hard. It's identical as far as the finish that it goes on my skin. It comes with a pump. It is beautiful. I see why people like it. I feel like this one and the next one I'm going to talk to, those 3 are very, very close to what they do on my skin. Glowy, beautiful. The downside to this one, as well as the light reflecting, I should say, settles on my fine lines. The majority of these settle on my fine lines on my forehead. There's only a few that do not after a long period of time. So I do have to be cautious of that. If it's very glowy, it accentuates it more for me. So I do have to be careful with that. And this one does do that. It does look gorgeous on the skin. I mean, it looks like skin. It looks like my skin is flawless. It looks like it's just this beautiful radiance of my face. So I do like this. I see the hype on it. The price is a bit much. So this is why I'm like, but it is something that I'm happy I tried because I really do like it. Number 4 goes to this one. This is the Dior Forever Natural Nude. There's 2 other lines of this one. I personally like the Natural Nude. And I feel like these 2 are almost identical. I will say that the Dior and the Giorgio Armani one are almost identical to each other as far as how they look on the skin, how they feel on the skin. I do feel like the Dior one is a tad bit more coverage, and not by much, you guys, not by much. But I feel like the finish of both of these is almost identical on my skin. I can't tell which one I'm wearing which day. I feel like it's almost the same. I don't know. This one's very natural. Again, it's medium coverage. Same thing with this one, unless you shear it out. It looks beautiful. It looks like skin. It sets down. I mean, it's just everything you would want in a beautiful foundation. I love this one. All of these, by the way, do last on me all day. None of them break down on me, which is a shocker. I think they're all beautiful. I really do. This one, I don't know. I'm torn between these 2 because I love both of them, but something just pulls me a little bit more with the Dior one. I don't know what it is about the Dior one, but I just like it a tad bit more than the Giorgio one. And it may be because it doesn't settle into my fine lines as much as the Dior one. I feel like the Armani one. The Armani one I really noticed when it settled into my fine lines. not so much with the Dior or the NARS one. I feel like out of all three of these, the one that settled the most into the lines was the Armani. Then it was the Dior one, and then the NARS ones. But I feel like all three of these, and this is why they're each neck and neck with each other, they all do the same, just a little bit different. I feel like the least amount of coverage that I've gotten was the Armani, and it's still enough coverage. Then it went the Dior, then the NARS one. So I think it all just depends on which coverage I like at the end of the day. But all three of these are beautiful, and I feel like you can do with just one of these three. You don't need all three. Okay, position number 2 goes to these two, and I feel like these two are almost identical on my skin. This is why I'm putting them together. This is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Hydra Foundation, and then the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. And the reason why I am pairing these two together is because, unfortunately, I feel like the Smashbox one is being discontinued, or it already has been discontinued. This is not my first time using this. I've already gone through one full bottle of this one, and I have this deeper one, and I have a lighter version. I love this, but I feel like both of these are almost identical on my skin. So if you love the Smashbox one, you're gonna like this one. I feel like they're both the same. And this one, like I said, is gone. I think they did discontinue this and they came out with a new foundation. So I'm just gonna stick with the NARS one. But both of these have medium to full coverage. They give you a beautiful long wear, radiant, natural look on your skin. It looks beautiful. They don't settle into my fine lines as much. I mean, when I wore one of these each day, I was just like, I can't tell which foundation I'm wearing. They both extend the wear a long period of time. It doesn't make my face look cakey. I can sheer it out. It just looks beautiful. I look flawless and it looks nice. It looks like I do have like more makeup than the other ones would, but it's just beautiful. If you've tried the NARS, you would have loved this one. And because I have already loved this one, I fell in love with this one the same way. So I feel like both of these, the only downside that I would say is I feel like the Smashbox just worked better more with my sponge than this one does. This one I gotta put on with my fingers, then go in with a sponge. I can't go in with it with a sponge right away, because then it shows some sort of texture on my face that just doesn't exist. I don't know, like bunches up in a weird way. This one never did that. That's the only pro that I have over the Smashbox. Both come with a pump. Both are beautiful. They're in a glass jar. It's a shame. If you can find these at a CCO, I'd really recommend this one, and it would save you money, obviously, but it's almost identical to this one. So going forward, I would just buy this one because this one, unfortunately, has been discontinued. And the number 1 spot goes to 2 of them for the same reason that number 2 was in the same spot, and that is the Estee Lauder Double Wear and the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear. This one has been reformulated, unfortunately, as soon as I bought it, so I don't know how the new one is, but I can attest to the older version being basically identical to this one. I will say, and the reason why I paired them together, because you really can't tell the difference, but I feel like I kind of like the Estee Lauder just a tad bit more. Just a hair more. I don't know. There's something about it that just is perfection. This one is also beautiful and I fell in love with it. But I can't say the same for the new version because I haven't tried the new formula of this one. But the older version... So I will say that if I'm going to choose between one of these two, it would be the Estee Lauder Double Wear as my number 1. I understand what the hype is about it. From it, I understand why so many people love it. Doesn't look heavy on the skin. If I'm going to choose a full coverage foundation, this is the one that I am going to use. This is the one that I'm going to repurchase. This is the one that I'm going to love because they did such a good job with the whole entire formula of it. They just did an amazing, amazing job. Now, once I'm done with my Lancome ones, I have this one in a lighter version. This is the Tint Idol. I don't know what they changed. I forget what it is. Water-based, oil-based. I can't remember. I'm debating whether I'm going to repurchase this one because I just fell in love with this one and I'd rather just stick to this one. I do love this one. Don't get me wrong. Both of them are beautiful on my skin. They look flawless. They look amazing. I mean, just like I've worn these to events where I am sweating and I mean, my face is intact and it looks gorgeous, and these do not settle into my fine lines as much. Very rarely, like it's a minimal amount that they settle in my fine lines so it doesn't look so bad as the other ones that I've mentioned do. Beautiful. So if I were to choose one of these two, I'd say Estee Lauder. I mean, I get it. I get it. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It doesn't look like I have a thick layer of makeup on. I mean, they did such a good job. And I've tried full coverage from the drugstore and it breaks down on me after so many hours and it looks like cake face at some point of the day. This one does not. It does not. And I bought the pump because I'm that bougie. I was like, yep, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I love this. I really, really do. Both of these I love, but again, because this one was reformulated, I'm going to go with this one. So that's my number one, you guys. That definitely love it. All right, you guys, were you surprised at my number one? Did you guys see the flow in here? I'm telling you, if I were to pick my top 3 that I'm going to definitely purchase, I would say it would be, oh, see, it's hard. I would say it's definitely the Estee Lauder, the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation, and between the Dior and the NARS Light Reflecting, one of these two. All the rest I can do without. I don't really necessarily need all of these again. I'm very happy that I was able to try all of these. I have realized with me getting older, more fine lines, more things on my face, and more of what I want. I'm sad to say this, but I'm being honest. I don't want to do drugstore foundations anymore. I've realized the difference between a drugstore foundation on me versus a higher end one. They just do it right. There's something about it. I don't have to babysit it. I don't have to retouch. I don't have to worry about it settling into different places, rubbing off on certain, or, you know, clothing and things of that nature. It just is a one and done thing for me, and it looks beautiful from the time I put on my makeup to the end. Typically I wear makeup for about 10 hours, so I need it to last. I don't have time to babysit it, and because if I have a good complexion, the rest of my makeup lasts, and I have noticed that by doing this, and I'm very happy. I love these all, and I will use all these up until the end as much as I possibly can. Yes, these are a lot, but I haven't tried foundations like this in so long, and I'm so happy that I have, because I found really, really good ones. Really, really good ones. I'm very, very content. That is my roundup, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. More videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, peace out.